Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're continuing our exploration of the Timeless format. We are going to do another best of one video today. Similar to the Death Shadow deck, I will add in a sideboard after, so if you want to play it in best of three, you can play it in best of three. But this list came from Jordao Pereira on Twitter. They went 19-2 in best of one to 362 Mythic, so I want to give it a shot. So Tribal Zoo is going to be the deck. Before we deep dive, I was playing around with the audio settings on my video. I welcome feedback, how things are. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't fully know what I'm doing. Tried to get some help from other content creators, appreciated. But let me know how the audio is coming through. It sounds fine on my end, but welcome the feedback there. So Tribal Zoo, what are we trying to do? We're trying to play Domain in an aggressively slanted deck. So in Standard, we have Domain, but you're doing Atraxa, big dumb things. So that's one way to kind of approach it. What we were trying to do here is play Domain to get like 1 mana Leyline Bindings, but also for these Domain creatures. So we have Nishoba Brawler, that's power and toughness are equal, its power is equal to your Domain. So it becomes upwards of a 5/3 for 2 mana with Trample. Kavu scales and gets bigger, becomes a 5/5 that can either graveyards or draw discard. Bowmasters in here. Tribal Flame deals X damage for 2 mana, where X is the number of basic lines we control. We have Wild Nacatl, which becomes a 1 mana 3/3 if we have a Plains and Mountain. Then we have Ragavan, Lightning Bolt, Stubborn Denial. I think Stubborn Denial is actually going to be better in this deck than the Death Shadow deck. In the Death Shadow deck, oftentimes it just was 4 spike, but here we have a number of creatures that can get to 4 toughness, so it's easier to enable it there. The one of Relic of Progenitus seems like fine filler. We'll see if this comes up at all. 3 Okos, and then really like the deck's curved like this. Leyline Binding will be for 1 mana. This deck in its core kind of existed in Historic, but the big thing is with Domain, you're able, or with the fetch lines, you're able to more easily set up the Domain to kind of go from there. Opting to go with green and white as the basic lands to play around Blood Moon. So we're going to give this a shot, see how it plays out. As always, at this point, I am testing. I don't particularly care about my rank. Really, what we want to do is see what works, what doesn't, get a feel for the format, see what other people are playing as well, and then see if we want to revise lists or stuff like that. So it's all about learning. This, worked for one person, might not work for us. I want to kind of explore and see and learn the format to kind of get a feel. Personally, just based on my playstyle, if I was really concerned with ranking up at this point, I would just be running Mono Red Blood Moon because I enjoy playing that deck. The Sultai decks, the Dimir decks, the Izzet decks, all very good choices if you want to go like really spiky in the format. That's the way to kind of approach it. But I think the only games I've actually played on ladder this month are these ones I've done for the video. While we're still doing we'll be back with metagame stuff. So if you're tuning into this and you're like, Joe, where's the metagame stuff? I'll come back on the weekend and record everything there. So this hand actually is not great because we can't cast our 1-drops early. And then most of the cards in our deck are kind of dead. Naturally drawn to an even worse hand. How do we not get fetch lines? Pretty impressive. Any fetch opens up these hands, just weird variants. Okay, so there's our fetch. So I think here we go, so this makes Leyline work. This turns on Stubborn Denial. Oh, sorry, I actually can't get Steam Vents, so we're gonna go with this then. So 4/4 here, this will let me loot as well, which is nice. This could be Fatal Push out of them, but I'd rather not be the first one to Bowmaster. Okay, so Spara's Headquarter, Brainstorm on Upkeep. So they're likely missing a second land there, or they have a fetch line, but gauging from the upkeep of doing this suggests that they don't have the second land in hand. Spara's Headquarter can be Field of the Dead, can be Banned Control. Okay, so second Wooded Foothills. Nice here because I could get the steam vents now. So I can draw discard here. Or I can exile their graveyard. I think we're going to prioritize the draw discard right now. Second Kavu's nice. So we do go down to pretty low chunk. So I can play this, hold up, which I think we just do at this point. I just want to hold up the Stubborn Denial. Having 2 5-power creatures is good. I can dash this in if needed. I have Bowmaster as well for next turn. Probably should have held that. I could have looted it away. So a bit of a brain fart there. We can eat at their graveyard though. So minor missequence there. They could be on Supreme Verdict, so like I don't know if I necessarily want to commit. Get rid of their spells first. So I think we do this. Yeah. So this deck, Stubborn Denial, is a lot easier. Like if this was a Bowmaster, or if this was the Death Shadow deck, we wouldn't have been able to have it active in that sense, and just 2 mana 5/5s beats down pretty quick. So I just gotta get in my brain once we hit like 3 lands to keep the other lands and just loot them away. So it's kind of that mentality, you know, you're in Standard at times, you play the lands, just keep playing it out maybe, but here we want to just kind of loot through it. Okay, this hand's pretty solid. So get Breeding Pool. And then next turn that turns on Wild Nacatl. Like turn 2's Bowmaster anyways. Okay, Halfling. We do need a land. They can get their Oko out before us, but we have a reasonable like board state, all things considered. Okay, that is a nice one. So this will get a black source. I can play Oko. Alternatively, so I can exile the fetch from my graveyard. I actually don't think Oko's necessarily... Mind you, we get it out sooner, so we're probably ahead. Okay, so death right there. probably just want the black source. Make a food here. So getting Oko out first is going to help. We can start pressuring them. I can elk their One Ring. I'm going to attack to loot this away. Just get some better value going. Oh my god, all lands. So we'll do this.
Let's broaden your existence.
Play. Just bring Jegantha to hand. I actually have to shock here. Which is kind of annoying. Okay, I have steam vents. I was gonna say for a second I didn't have a... If you control a creature, counter that. It's a non-creature, so it's fine. I think that's fine. We will get probably a second blue. So Zagoth Triome here. They could fetch, get something going that way. Ragavan's not bad. Could dash Ragavan here. Let me start with attacking here. We'll see what they have. Leyline Binding. How about no? No sounds good. So I can attack with both. If I attack with both, could force a block. We likely find another land. At this point, I just want to like flood the board. They can deal some damage there, but I think we're okay. So main phasing. And they could keep attacking with the ring. It's fine. Gonna attack with everything here. They can go up to 10. White mana. kind of a weird decision there. They could have taken one of my other creatures. But GG's. Deal 5. Bye, friend. So they're playing like more of a control-y variant, I would say. Swords and stuff like that. I mean, the games are much quicker with this deck than some of the other decks. I'm liking the spells. Oko's kind of a good distraction in this deck. Well, obviously it could put some pressure on them. We are able to kind of still present our first hand looks reasonable. Keep. Okay, so this can't get steam vents. So we're off on blue right now, so it's worth noting. Okay, so they'll lead Thoughtseize. If they take the Bolt, then I'll lead with Savai Triome. Okay, so since we drew that, that's actually really good, so... I'm gonna get red regardless. Ah, vampires. So this can be the, like with Sorin, it's a really good kind of combo. So I can just have that come into play tapped. So notably, I want to get Kavu over 3 damage, because if they do go Sorin here, it's a little worse. Okay, so here, just go Oko. Okay, they're getting aggressive. The funny thing is, even with like Oko here, even if they have Sorin, Bloodghast and sacrifice the Bloodghast to Sorin doesn't kill Oko. And then I can start proactively protecting it. Okay, so we see Sorin come down here. Okay, so that comes down there. We have Domain. So we'll 5-ball this.
I have other obligations.
I think regardless we're going to do this. We're above 13, so they can't get the haste on us yet. And if they don't have another land, I could Stubborn Denial. Okay, so that's actually pretty solid. Get these foods attacking in now. So here I'll have red mana and blue mana up, and it's Force Spike. I think we just do this. I kind of like this idea. You use the Sorin, Bloodghast, recursive value. I think this is fine. Like, they're not enabling Revolt for anything. Okay, so they got me with the Bowmaster there. They get blood. Gas back. See if they try to chain together for Sorin. Get him with the Stubborn Denial. Get wrecked. Do I want to hit him with Bolt? Probably not.
I invite you to change your ways.
With their life total this low, I think we just do this. Gonna hold the fetch land at this point. Whenever a Cordial or Vampire or another creature you control dies, put a 1/1 on each Vampire you control. Just get that out of the way right now. Keeping Oko around for another turn will be good. This also can't block, so it doesn't have much utility.
So hostile to the truth.
Binding's nice.
Welcome to the feast.
So Cordial will die there. Or let's make sure I have untapped white source left in the deck. I have plains. Okay, that's fine. Just gotta make sure when you're 5 color. Alright. Chief Elk for our Elk tribal deck. Elks, elks, elks. All the milks. Sweet. Alright, so I'm actually just going to do this one as a quick deck. I think it's super reasonable. I just want to get some demo out. I'm trying to get a couple different decks out. But give us a nice show. I think the Stubborn Denial is really solid in this particular list. Let me know what you think in the comments, but we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.